I'm Stephanie Nwoki. I'm an entrepreneur, mom, and wife. I grew up with a single mom, and I saw her suffer a lot through really bad relationships, abusive relationships. And I kind of vowed to myself that I would never let like a man just be controlling of me or just like control my, I thought love was just stupid and fickle and all these other words. But when I was 14, I fell for this guy. And it was the first time I ever let anybody in. I let my guard down. I thought it was the end all be all, because if I could fall for somebody, knowing the way that I was, this had to be it. You know, I was gonna marry this guy. We were gonna, the whole shebang. I was with him for almost 4 years on and off. It was very toxic, not just because of the things that he did to me, but I think it was what I felt about myself. And he gave me a lot of complexes that I had to fight against, about how I looked, about my hair, about who I was as a person. I mean, I was 14, so I was still trying to figure myself out. But what happened was he made me fall, made me feel like the top of the world, and then just like destroy me. Dear Stephanie, it took me so many years to say this to you, but I love you. You are beautiful, inside and out. And thank you for not giving up, for fighting those thoughts and doubts, for getting up every day. Thank you for giving me a chance to be the woman I am today. Despite how you feel when you look in the mirror, and despite what you say to yourself when you're feeling down, you are so loved, so beautifully and wonderfully made, and so important. You feel vulnerable and alone and insignificant. But one day you will see how powerful you really are. And those insecurities and vulnerability will be frameworks upon which you will build a woman of strength. So I took many steps to build my self-love and to build my self-esteem. The biggest thing was I built a strong relationship with my faith, in the sense that I really got serious about my journey in my faith. Whether you believe in God or not, or the universe, I just believed in something bigger and a bigger purpose and a bigger plan. And I read a lot. I read so many books. I associated with good people. I changed my association. I wasn't around with the friends who told me that it was okay, or, you know, he's just going through a phase. I let go of all of that. Anybody who made me feel bad, I stopped hanging out with them. Even to this day, like in social media, if there's a profile that makes me feel horrible about myself, immediately unfollow. Because I feel like me being okay is so important, not because I'm selfish, but because it's how I feel about myself is how I treat others. And if I can't take care of me, I'm gonna treat other people in a certain manner that's not correct. I'm gonna be angry towards the world. I'm gonna be resentful. So I just really took steps to take care of myself. I also want you to know that you will heal. I know it seems like you're so broken now. I know he destroyed so much light in you. He lied, he cheated, he manipulated you. And worse, he made you feel like you didn't matter. You were willing to give up everything for him. You lost so much of you to please him. I look back now and I'm like, I can't believe I accepted that, but I did. He would say things like, oh, I know how to get you back. I just know exactly what to say. Messed around with so many of my closest friends. The worst part is that I kept going back, even though this person kept saying that to me. And I just didn't know how to stop. I mean, I used to cry almost every night to sleep trying to get over this person. Until finally, I literally prayed. I was like, if this person is not meant for me, just jank it. Like, take that person out, remove me from the situation, make me feel nothing. I don't even want to feel hatred. I don't want to feel, just make me just not feel anything. And I literally remember that day I wrote down what I actually did want in a man. I did like a list of what I wanted, put that list away. I'm like, that's never gonna happen, but whatever. And I realized this guy has nothing that I want in a guy. And I decided that I was gonna cut it off. And it hurt like heck. You know, it was just crazy, but eventually I got there. Took a while, but I think if it wasn't for that prayer, for that moment, I probably would have still been in that relationship. I would have repeated my mom's steps. Yeah, but it's tough because I literally was that typical person, knowing that she's getting cheated on, still accepting it, and then putting up a front that like I'm this empowering woman, but I'm literally doing the opposite of what I stood for. So here's the thing. Love doesn't hurt. It doesn't destroy. It doesn't trap. He does not love you. He does not care about you. He is not ready for you. And he is not meant to be with you. He is a child, and you deserve better. Your eyes should be filled with tears of joy, not of hurt. Pick your head up. Your crown is falling. The pain you feel today will be replaced by a joy that comes first from loving yourself and eventually by the love of a good man and good people. What I kept telling myself so that I could walk away from that during that time period, it's silly, but I kept telling myself, I'm not my mom. I can't do this. I cannot be my mom. I also have 2 sisters who are younger than me, and I kept thinking about them. And my sister, who I mentioned became a teenage mom, she got into a very toxic relationship, and she was repeating the same patterns. And seeing her, I'm like, if I can't break this cycle, I can't help her break her own. I also kept thinking about me now, like future me. And I don't know why that was so like in my head. I'm like I kept thinking about future me and how she would feel. And I'm like, I gotta do it for her. You will learn to accept the apology he will never give you. You will live as if he never existed. You will forget his number. I couldn't forget his number. I remember that was one of the things I struggled with for years. I'm like, I wish I would delete the number from my phone. I would delete, but I will always remember it. So I almost didn't remember his name when I was writing the letter because I've healed from that. His words and his memory won't make you feel insufficient, and you will find love. True, healing, freeing, and unlimited love. You will have a family. You will find purpose. You should be with somebody that loves every part of you. The parts that you hate about yourself, he should cherish it or she should cherish it. It should be what you feel like it's so bad about you. They should love every part about you. You shouldn't feel imperfect. You shouldn't feel worthless. It's somebody who uplifts you, empowers you, makes you feel great about yourself, and that can do the same for them. You should be able to ride with that person. You should be able to get things done. You should be able to. My husband's my business partner. He's my life partner. We know everything about each other, and we love everything about each other, even the stuff that we don't like. You should be able to be your most authentic self. Love should really free you. It should really empower you. It should make you want to fight. It should make you want to grow with that person. So if anybody's making you feel anything but that, if you feel trapped, if you feel insecure, if you're crying a lot, just let that person go. Trust me, there's something better out there for you. There's someone better out there for you. And sometimes that's just yourself. Above everything, I write this to you to tell you that you are not unwanted. You're not here by mistake. I know you see so many signs pointing towards you not having value. It seems like your mom doesn't love you. Your dad has forgotten you. You can't find a place where you feel you're at home. You look around all the brokenness in your life and think that that's all you are. It feels like you're not worthy of anything good. But all those things you see are mere mirages. You will find that your mom is merely a product of a broken system and just trying to survive and figure it out. She is proud, and she does love you in her unique way. And you will heal and mend that relationship as the years go by. I think I stood with this person for so long because in that time period, so my teenage years, there was 3 things going on now that I reflect. The first thing is I had a really bad self-image. I was not confident. I don't ever admit it, but I was borderline suicidal with how I felt about myself. I don't know where that came from, that spirit of just I hated how I looked in the mirror. I hated everything about myself. And I think because in the beginning, he made me feel like I was amazing. And it was the first time that somebody liked how I looked, or he was just feeding that self-image. Destroying it and feeding it was just really complicated. The second thing that was going on is I became very aware of the dysfunction in my family around that time. I became very aware of the fact that we didn't have money. I became very aware of the fact that everything that we got was from government assistance. I was very aware of how much my mom was struggling. So there was so much brokenness there that he was almost an escape from that. And it was this idea that if I start a life with this guy, I can do something different, right? And I think the third thing, because I couldn't save myself and I couldn't handle everything, I thought I could change him. And it's hard because I feel like your teenage years where you really create that foundation for yourself. And unfortunately, my foundation was toxic, broken, dysfunction. And the worst thing is just being in that relationship where I really should have not been in there for that long. You will learn to lean on a father that supersedes earthly limitations, even as your own father fails to live up to your expectations. And all the things you thought were evidence of why you shouldn't be here are the very things that will help you impact others. They're the very thing that will help you connect and touch lives around the world. God's hands are all over your life, and you will see why as you grow. And as you follow that voice that tells you to keep going, that you got some great things to do for this world, because you do. So hang on, baby girl. You're gonna be all right. I think honestly, a lot of people who are in toxic relationships, we just want to prove that we're not crazy, right? Like there's a reason why, right? So it's almost like an ego thing. Like he does love me, which is why I wrote in the letter, he doesn't. He does not care. But in my mind, I had to prove it. So that's why I kept running back. So I had to kind of tell myself, it doesn't matter. I don't care if he wants to apologize. None of that matters. What matters is me in the future. My sisters now need to see that somebody in our family that can have a healthy relationship. Like the only reason why I might get emotional when I read it is because I'm like so grateful that my life is so opposite from that. Like I'm just so grateful that as hard as it was when I was young, that I walked away and that I built and I did the work to just build myself up, to let go of all of that and literally love myself so that I can eventually have a healthy, loving relationship with my current husband. And now we have a son. And I'm just so happy that my life turned out so different. My advice for people who were where I was at as a teenager and they feel like they're less than or they just don't feel empowered is, it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter where you're at right now. It only matters where you're going. And if you focus on that, on what's to come and what you can create, literally 3 months from now, just by making some good decisions, you can be a completely different person. And that's my story. If I look back when I was 14 or 15, the person I was writing this letter to, I don't recognize her. I recognize her because she made me who I am. And I do love her and I appreciate her, but we're completely different people. And I never thought I could get there, but it was just a matter of not being focused about what's around me. You're not your circumstances. You're not what happened to you. You're not what your family did. You literally are in control. And you just have to decide. And I promise you it's not gonna be easy because life never gets easy. But if you decide and you start to seek the goodness that's within you and just live your life every day, you'll eventually get to where you want to be. I'm Stephanie Nawoki, and this is my note to self.